At Community First Credit Union, there's a lot to see. We build customized financial solutions so you can enjoy the life you want. We make it comfortable to have a conversation about what's important to you, like helping you stay on course to reach your savings goal. And what's important to us all, like helping to support causes that count. See for yourself what See First can do for you.
Hello. Good evening to all our international audience and good morning to those here in Australia. Welcome to the Frightfully Good Stories with Anne and Renata. I'm Anne Rekovich.
And I'm Renata Daniel, and I have absolute no hope in using social media, so I apologise.
And we thank the Spirit Realm Network for allowing us to be on here to share our stories with you. I thought we might start off the show a little bit today asking a little bit about who we are. Does anyone have any questions about who we are, what we do? Are we married? Do we have children? Do we have grandchildren?
Not with each other. No.
We are not married.
We're not married to each other.
We're not married.
No.
We just hang out a lot.
No.
Hi, Barbara. How are you? Hi, Jody. Yeah, I know, Jody, aren't you lucky? We've just uploaded a new video onto our YouTube channel, Anne and Renata, and that one is to the Nina Friary in Ireland, where we just go for a little bit of a wander around there. We're posting all our travels that we've done internationally. And Jody, thank you so much for that beautiful comment. I really appreciate that, saying let's find a way to make some awesome money for you girls for all the work that you do. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I love her.
Oh.
And we've got Barbara here with us and Jenny. Jenny's a grand poobah. She's one of our Patreon supporters, and we thank you so much for that, Jenny. It means the world to us. We've also got the Night Stalker Paranormal back on again. Nice to see you again,
Hi,
guys.
Night Stalker Paranormal.
Thank you for joining us. And what this show about today is we look at some real ghost stories from around the world. Some of you may be familiar with our work through True Hauntings podcast, where we examine in depth. Hang on, more coffee. We examine in depth some of the biggest paranormal cases from around the world and locations and work out what really happened. Was it really a haunting? Who declared it was a haunting? And we then look at the evidence through the eyes of paranormal investigators and try to offer alternate solutions. So it's a bit of a true crime sort of thing.
So even though we always like to inject a bit of fun in everything that we do.
Hi, Maxine. How are you?
Because we're that age where really don't care about being super
Sue.
Serious anymore.
No, we're too old.
We're too old. We want some fun. We are very super serious about the work that we do and the research that we do and the stories that we bring you. So we hope you are having fun.
Today's
you
t-shirt.
are enjoying
That's
what we are showing you. If you like what you see, give us a big thumbs up or a heart or something to say, yeah, you're watching. And if you can share this out to someone and go, hey, these two old ducks are on.
These two old ducks are awesome.
And they're going to entertain you for the next 45 minutes.
Hello, Andrea.
Share.
Hi, Karen. See you soon, Karen. We tonight are heading
Yes.
off to the Royal Botanical Gardens,
Royal Botanical Gardens
right
in
next
Sydney.
to the Opera House, for a ghost tour at night through the gardens. So there's a lot of convict history around that area. Will be interesting to find out what happens.
And it is an eclipse night tonight,
Ooh,
so
and a
hang
full
on to your
moon.
hats, everyone, because the energy that's coming through in the next 24 hours is going to rip us all apart.
Anyone getting full moon headaches already? I started getting them 2 days ago, and I went, must be a full moon soon. Looked it up. Oh, yep.
And it's going to be a beauty. I think this is the longest eclipse that we've had for like 600 years. We won't see another one like this because we don't live that long. Well, maybe I do, but we don't live that long normally. So no one else will see. Oh well, I've seen a few because I'm that old. But yeah, most other people won't.
You're also a psychic medium, so you do get to see the spooks and things like that. But yeah, she is that old that she's seen that many. Yeah, Karen's also said brain fog. Jenny said she's getting the headaches. Maxine loved the last True Hauntings. The last True Hauntings podcast was a tad naughty. That was the Wimmering Manor. And we talked about priest holes. Sort of got a little off track there, didn't we?
We did. Jody, your clients are crazy. Yes. I wonder what sort of problems they're coming up with, because I personally, I do readings, I personally have faced a lot of relationship issues over the last week. People are really having lots and lots of relationship issues. We found that last night on our free tarot. We have a free tarot night every Thursday between 8:30 and 9:30 on the Anne and Renata Frightfully Good page. And we found lots of people asking questions about relationships.
Yes, and there's a lot that are not telling each other how they feel. Instead, they ask a psychic or a medium or the cards, do they love me? Will they marry me? Ask them. That's the only way you're going to find out. Tell them. It's crazy.
Yeah, this fear of knowing the truth in case you are distressed or upset. So you hang on and on and on, hoping that there is a sign that you're going to be told something you really want to hear. It's actually better off to know the truth. Yeah. Anyway, we have some stories.
Hello,
Michelle J. Jost Magagarinkevich.
Now you should be able to do the Rinkovich quite well there.
Yes.
Your last 4 letters of your name match mine. How's that? So how did we go? Rinkovich, did we get it right? Let us know. With a name like Rekovich, got to be close. Shall we get on with the show?
Yes.
All right. Let's add this to the stream, and I'm doing it a little bit different today. We've got the picture in picture, so let's hope that that doesn't block any of the pictures that are going on. What do you reckon? Does that one work better, or do you prefer that one?
Doesn't matter to me.
Thanks for that advice there, Renata. So here we go.
All right, so my task every week is to find some awesome story that has come up in the news most recently, and not always am I successful in doing that. But this week, what I did find is a story about Bath's haunted holly bush. And you know what it's like with us with sacred bushes. We love a sacred bush, and this certainly is one. So this is in Bath, England, and it is a holly bush that has been growing in a particular spot for a very long time. So the holly tree is situated near the famous and picturesque Royal Crescent and a pathway called the Gravel Walk in Bath in England. Hands up if you have been to Bath in England. I've been twice.
We actually had a very funny experience last time we went with an elderly gentleman in cycle shorts that the lycra wasn't quite as firm as what it had to be, what it should have been, and pretty sure he was not wearing underwear. Let's just say 2 little old ladies sitting at the coffee table, we're giggling.
We spat out our beautiful cappuccinos and went, what the hell? that is not appropriate to be seen during daylight hours. But anyway, so Bath is an extraordinarily beautiful place in England, very much entwined with Roman history. There are beautiful Roman buildings, of course, the Roman baths that are there, which is the name associated with the site. And there are lots of other areas in Bath to explore. We never seem to get the time to do that,
No.
but never mind.
But we did find the pasties, Cornish pasties,
The Cornish
and
pasties.
that was a very good Cornish pasty, I have to say.
So we are in Bath in England, located on the edge of Victoria Park. The bush, which we are talking about, which is the holly bush that you see the picture of here, is said to be situated on the site of the city's former dueling ground. A dueling ground. Now imagine living in a time where if you had a issue with someone, you were going to fight to the death with them about it. I will meet you on the dueling grounds at 1 p.m. this afternoon, sir, and we will use pistols to work out who is in the right and who is in the wrong. So the dueling area is supposed to be haunted by a swordsman. So I'm going to take you back to the 1700s. And this is what it would have looked like. There would have been someone there standing there going, right, go ahead. You may fire now. And two people would stand in front of each other. They would choose their weapons and they would shoot to fight for their honor or their word, which is like just crap.
I'm sorry, I'm just making sure that that didn't end up in the feed.
Mm-hmm. So men would come to fight and die for their honor in the field here. The story goes that the wounded would be taken to a doctor's tent and often would die from their wounds because, honestly, this is hand-to-hand combat. They might pick, and I did read about a particular duel that happened on this site, and they originally started with pistols and they did shoot each other, but they were so adamant about finishing this argument that they then drew knives and started to attack each other with knives. And then it was literally fists and choking each other to death. So there you go. Where the tent once stood now grows a holly bush, a large holly bush. There are many sightings here, including a young man walking with a sword who enters the field, stands defensively, and then simply disappears.
Lynn said, I think my family is from Bath and Cornwall. And why do men not give two craps about who sees their bushy twig? I agree, Lynn.
So this is the area that this
isn't it glorious?
That this holly bush is situated in. So you're seeing half here. You're seeing half of what they call the circus, and this is a rounded structure. Goes all the way around with
so it's sort of there.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing because I can't see your mouse.
A magnificent sort of entrance way. And this is a really astounding. If you look at it on a map, it's a circular area of buildings, and it was originally surrounded by parkland. So where you see this structure here, the park with the holly bush is to the left-hand side. And that's another view from it. So we're looking down the bottom into where the dueling ground would have been. So if you go on a tour of the haunted sites in Bath, the guide may stop you around here. And before you go inside the holly bush, the guide will tell you that you need to remain extra quiet because sometimes the ghosts of a young, handsome, dead duelist can appear. It is said sometimes young women will feel a kiss on their cheeks, while others might feel a touch on their shoulder or back if they are a kindred spirit to the ghost.
Oh, I like it.
The latter would mean that the ghost would leave with you and become your protector for the rest of your life.
Oh, I feel a yarn spinning here.
Yeah, as that was the only way for them to leave the darkness of the bush. Their goal would be to protect you from an untimely end, but it would only happen if you were pure of heart and honourable.
Oh, well, I'm stuffed.
Yeah. And this is underneath the holly bush. So this is actually taken, this picture, on a tour, and we must do this, on a tour in Bath, where they take you through the haunted areas and they take you to this spot where the duels happened. And this holly bush does exist, and you are allowed to go underneath, under the holly bush, and the guide there will tell you the stories about some of the things that have happened on that site and some of the ghosts that you encounter. And here is where you must be very, very quiet. Very, very quiet.
Very, very quiet to get a kiss on the
very, very quiet.
cheek, not the sacred bush.
That's right. Now you are under the sacred bush.
Does anyone see faces? Lynn said there was faces in there.
You have an examination of that just for a moment.
All right, let me
see if you can get some faces.
I need to blow it up.
There's lots of vines and things.
Yeah, there's lots of different shade
lots
and
of
light.
Pareidolia happening.
Yeah. But what a glorious little spot, either way.
And right next to that is another spot that seems to attract some ghosts. And this gravel walk is very old. It's an ancient walk that takes you around some of the buildings and connects you from one site to another. And what they have actually made now of this gravel walk is a thoroughfare, which is a little bit unfortunate. But this is a photo of it in modern days. And it says the nearby gravel walk is also said to be haunted by the ghost of a white-haired man who has reportedly been seen several times but also suddenly disappears. This pathway was Bath's first bypass and a setting in Jane Austen's novel Persuasion for the city stroll that Captain Wentworth and Anne Elliot took when they were finally reconciled. So it might tweak some memories for anyone who has read Jane Austen's novel Persuasion, because this is the stroll that was taken by Captain Wentworth and Anne Elliot when they were finally reconciled. It was laid down in 1771.
Wow.
And connected the Royal Crescent with Queen Square. So once it would have had views across gently sloping pastures leading to the old city of Bath, that is, until Royal Victoria Park was constructed and mature trees now shade this pathway and drip raindrops upon its pedestrian users. Isn't that beautiful?
I want to be there and be dropped by raindrops on me, please.
Yes. It is a pathway that Jane Austen herself would have walked upon, and one that is still used by tourists and Bathonians alike today. And Bathonians is the name that they give to people who reside in Bath, obviously. So there, I hope you enjoyed that story.
Did.
Just a little looky.
Very much.
Yep.
Inspires me to go travelling yet again. Right, let's see if that's all still working over there. If I get to the right page, it would help, wouldn't it? I seem to be on there twice. I just need to. I don't know why I'd be on there twice, but there you go. Isn't that lucky? Yeah. So what a wonderful thing to sort of consider going to do.
Yes. Anyone been to Bath? We have an absolute stack of photographs from Bath, from the area that we have been to, and it's simply glorious because you're walking through a normal modern day city and you literally turn the corner and it's like someone has thrown you back hundreds of years and you are surrounded, if it wasn't for the tourists, surrounded by these ancient buildings and the Bath complex itself, which is astounding. And there is a pool there, and you can actually throw coins into the pool which say, if you leave your coins here and make a wish, it's a wish to come back at some point in time and be there again.
And the water in that pool is so green.
Yes.
It's vivid green. They used to actually get in it. I don't think I would today. I don't know what's at the bottom of that pool. You can't see.
The Romans were clean, though. They liked to have baths.
Yeah, my Roman's clean too. My husband's name is Roman. All right, so let's get on and we'll do the next part. become a sort of a little bit of a favourite, hasn't it? Well, let's go for some crap or cool pareidolia. So this is the tendency for perception to impose a meaningful interpretation on a nebulous stimulus, usually visual, that one sees an object pattern or meaning somewhere where there is none. So basically, it's your brain wants to interpret things as something you would normally recognise. How's that for cool? It's an emoji. It's an emoji in the world.
Mhm.
And I thought I'd written down where that was, but never mind. So can you all see the winking smiley face, or have I just programmed your mind to see that now?
Well, they will see that now, but it is quite obvious, and your eye is really drawn to the eyes and the face, the smiley face there.
Mm-hmm. Do you reckon it is crap or cool?
And hi, Seamus. Hi, great to see you here.
And Jenny, sulfur makes the water green. I see. So if you tap on that, that will pop it up onto the
And Jenny, you're really awesome with massages and helping people get better. So would sulfur be something that is just leaching into the water there, or would it be added specifically to add some sort of medical herbal thing and assist people with aches and pains? Would you add sulfur to the water?
Can I tell you a funny story about sulfur?
Oh, okay.
I'm
bracing myself.
My mother heard somewhere along the line. Oh, sorry, devil's at the door. That putting a pinch of sulfur into your dog's food will help with intestinal worms, I think it was. So she bought some powdered sulfur and she couldn't remember what the measurement was. She put a teaspoon of sulfur into the dog's food. That poor dog was farting the worst farts on God's earth for 24 hours straight.
Oh my gosh.
It would clear the room. It was just foul. It was embarrassing. And the dog was embarrassed every time he let one loose. You know, when they show the whites of their eyes and they go like that. Never again. She's lucky she didn't kill the poor thing. All right, we'll go on to the next one.
And good morning, Robert White. How are you? Our beautiful, beautiful.
Robert, you are just
supporter.
Yeah, thank you.
How are you?
Thank you. And look, I'd like to introduce you to Nun in a Bun. How's this one for some pareidolia? Right, this is a story about a local baker named Kate who had just dropped off a batch of cinnamon buns at Bongo when the manager, Ryan Finney, noticed a face staring back at him from one of the pastries. It was glazed and looked like the visage of Mother Teresa, the Catholic missionary and emissary of Christ made flesh in confection.
You couldn't eat it after you saw it, could you? No.
Well,
that would be a sin.
He was horrified because he almost ate this religious piece of dough. How awful would that be to bite down onto Mother Teresa's face?
So
the pastry became known as the nun bun. And has become now internet famous because of its likeness to Mother Teresa. So what do you reckon? Does it look like her?
It could look like anybody, but you know what?
I think it looks like a dwarf. That's like from close. Lord of the Rings.
Maxine, you can see a face. Absolutely. We can certainly see a face. It's got a huge nose on it. And the eyes sort of are situated just under that first fold. And a very stern face on that piece of confectionery. I don't think I could eat it, no.
Jenny said she's been to Bath. It's wonderful. They bathe there for the natural mineral hot springs for its healing properties. Yeah, so there we are.
Jenny.
So is it crap or cool?
I think that's cool.
I think it's hilarious.
And I thought I would add another bit of
another one?
Food pareidolia.
It's a fetus in a womb.
No, it's a face. It's for the Virgin Mary. I actually think it's Madonna, but it's a Virgin. It could be anyone. It could be anyone. Now, this woman here actually made a bundle of money out of this piece of toast, and you have probably seen this on the news. This was a few years ago now, but everyone still talks about it. I think because the amount of money this person made. But imagine yourself on a chilly day cooking up a nice golden brown grilled cheese sandwich. You go to take the first bite when all of a sudden you see the Virgin Mary, don't know how she gets that, staring back at you, imprinted in the char of the toast. This is how Diane Dicer started one of her days back in 1994, that long ago, thinking that she had been blessed by the Virgin Mary because of this imagery on her toast. What a load of crap that is. Look at that. This grilled cheese sandwich ended up, hold on to your hats, people, being sold for $28,000. $28,000 because Dicer was able to market it as having mystical powers. Wow. Now, she has this piece of toast in a very, like, crappy plastic holder because you can see the little
Is that cotton buds around it?
and cotton buds around it. Yes, yes, yes. But she has a mystical piece of grilled cheese sandwich with the picture of the Virgin Mary. It could be anyone, people, anyone at all. But let's just say it's the Virgin Mary because that makes it worth $28,000. There you go.
Wow, that's crazy. Lynn suggested the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man. Jenny's currently going to go and get her toaster out.
That's right. And this is one of the scariest pieces of pareidolia I have come across. Check that out.
Wow.
Check it out.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Wow. It just took me a moment there.
So what would that make your mind go and think of? That face. I'm sure everyone can see the face. It can take a moment to see the face. It is actually the back of a shark. So it's the shark's bottom.
Well, its head pointed downwards.
Head pointed down, so it's the back side of
the
it.
underside, yeah.
Yep. But that looks like a demon, doesn't it?
It does. Absolutely. Sandra said, wow. Oh, it looks like the Loki or something like that, like the jester. Yeah, Maxine said it looks like the devil.
Very scary. And look, the next one we go to is typical ghost hunting pareidolia. So we talk about some interesting pareidolia just in general, but this one is a typical picture of pareidolia that you would get someone sending you and saying, can you please tell me what's going on here? And the first photo is the top left photo. So what you're seeing in the top left photo is the original. Someone has taken a picture of a window in the bottom of a building, and there is something green poking out on the left-hand corner there down the bottom. So you can see that. Then on the right of that, top right, you can see that it has been blown up a little bit and enlarged. And so we're seeing a larger green, interesting green shape. Then left-hand bottom, it is enlarged again. And this green shape is becoming a little bit more interesting because it looks like it has. Stop it, Robert. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Thank you, my gorgeous man.
You're going to make me cry. Honest to God.
And so you're looking at something that looks like it's staring at you, and then bottom right-hand corner, check out that vision. Doesn't it look like it has eyes and a nose and a mouth? That's creepy as all hell. But it's actually the slats of the window, and it's just a plant. It's probably someone's basil plant, but for us, it looks like a face staring out, an angry face. Can everyone see the face?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm just a little bit overwhelmed there. It is so nice to have someone show appreciation for the work that we do. And Robert, we are ever so grateful.
We are
Thank you.
so grateful, Robert.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you so much
Oh,
for appreciating what we do and the hours we spend doing it. Thank you.
okay.
It's your turn.
I know, I just got to pull myself together a little bit. Right, so we're heading off now to the Dakota, New York, USA. So this is a hotel, well, not a hotel, but some apartments, very famous apartments. Do you know what they're famous for? Does anyone know what they're famous for?
Some sort of haunting, obviously.
Or not necessarily.
No.
No.
Oh.
If you think you know what it is, you write it in the comments below. Located at the northwest corner of Central Park West and 72nd Street, across the road from Strawberry Fields. These apartments were built for the rich people at a time when apartment living was just being considered, because up until then, living close quarters with other people would have been considered for the poor people.
Mm.
So this was showing them that luxury could be attained. Isn't that a great photo?
It is, yes. It's beautiful.
No detail was overlooked in the design and floor plan, and up to 16 rooms were in some apartments. A highly embellished exterior, as you can see, a bit gothic looking up there.
Mm-hmm.
There was 65 apartments of 4 to 20 rooms each. Since it was originally built, some have been subdivided to make more rooms.
20 rooms.
20 rooms in an apartment.
Wow. That's astounding.
Oh, yep, we've got a few people that have nailed it. Well done, Jody and Jim, and who else was there? Yeah, so it was where John Lennon was shot.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
He was actually living there at the time
Mm-hmm.
with Yoko Ono. And we have a bit of a story about him. So construction started on the October 25th, 1880, but didn't finish until October 27th, 1884. So that's 4 years to build that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little bit odd because at the time it was built, it was not in the hub, that wasn't in the center of activity. It was a little bit further down south. And some people used to have a little bit of a joke about the fact it was called Dakota because it was so far away from everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So some of the famous people that have been rejected. So the Dakota's been home to artists and performers throughout the history, and that's what it was known for. The notoriously choosy condo board, because you can't just buy an apartment there. You actually have to get approved to buy an apartment there. And they refused several well-known people, including this gorgeous pair. Look at them. Antonio Banderas and Melanie Griffith.
I wonder whether they chose to call their daughter Dakota because of the fact that they couldn't get
That's odd, isn't it?
a apartment.
Yeah. Billy Joel was also rejected.
Wow.
Carly Simon, Gene Simmons, and I like this one, Dennis Mehiel, who was the Paper Cup Baron of America in 2002. But one of the most famous residents was John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Of course, John was a member of the Beatles. And sadly, he was murdered on the steps of the Dakota in 1980. That was I still remember that, announcing that he'd been murdered. And it was so distressful. And that was because of mental health. So, of course, this place has some amazing ghost stories. In 1960s, a construction worker who was working near the apartments stated he saw a figure with the body of a man but the face of a young boy. Isn't that weird? So it was a fully grown man but had the face of a young boy. There was also apparently this also coincided with the death of another famous resident, Judy Holliday. And that's her on the right there. The construction workers also felt like they were being closely watched while they worked, or perhaps they were just being too loud and they didn't approve. Residents also claimed to have seen a little girl dressed in period clothing, waving and smiling from several of the lower windows. That seems to be a popular type of haunting, doesn't it?
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
there's a child involved.
Yes.
But of course, there's John. It is said that the spirit of John Lennon lives on in the Dakota apartments to this day. One resident witnessed John Lennon playing piano right in their apartment.
Wow.
He was murdered in the archway of the southern entrance. Sometime after the murder, many people claimed to see John leaning against the wall in his, what he was well known for, which was his white flared suit, where he died. And several people have also said they've seen an eerie light surrounding him. One woman said Lennon spoke to her. She claimed he said, "Do not be afraid. I am still here with you."
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, such a loss. Oh,
You've outdone
I've
yourself.
outdone myself here.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, John himself, when he was living in the apartments, reported seeing ghosts as well. But not only ghosts, but UFOs. So he said that he saw supernatural happenings. He claims he saw a UFO from one of the windows of the apartment in the Dakota building. He also repeatedly met a ghost he called the Crying Lady Ghost. She was said to be lurking benevolently in the hallways of the older parts of the now extended and modified building. I was thinking why he would come back dressed in his white flared suit as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't help but wonder, is that people that are projecting that onto him because that's what they knew him best as, or is it him using that outfit to be recognised as John Lennon? People would probably expect to see his ghost near the place where he lingered, and this is where we go into this whole thing of, are the ghosts actually ghosts, or are they projections of our mind, knowing we should see a ghost there of John Lennon, or expecting to see a ghost there of John Lennon, or in our mind's eye we see it? So is it a ghost or not? One reoccurring happening has been that the objects have been seen moving on their own accord within these apartments, even large objects like furniture or rugs. Residents have often reported hearing tiny little footsteps and odd noises at strange times in their apartment. Now, there was a resident by the name of Frederick Weinstein and his wife Susanna. They went on record reporting seeing the lights of a chandelier in their living room when they were downstairs on the street. So they were looking up to where their apartment was, and they saw a chandelier lit from the street. So they raced back up to their apartment to see what was going on because they don't have a chandelier. When he ran into the apartment, the lights were gone, but they had a look at the ceiling where that chandelier had stood, and there was bolts where a chandelier would have stood.
Wow.
Or hung, I should say, not stood. Isn't that crazy? So that would be residual.
Yes. But a chandelier.
A chandelier of all things. Well, maybe it was somebody's pride and joy, and
yeah,
I don't think the chandelier had a soul.
Very interesting.
And once again, it's one of these recordings of place. It's just something that's imprinted into the location, and maybe sometime whenever they walked into that apartment and they looked at their beloved chandelier, they might think, I love that chandelier, I'm going to leave it there forever. And they're using their energy to imprint the picture or the image of that thing staying there. I'm pulling things out of my belly button. All right, now the most sinister stories in the Dakota building, I don't know if it's sinister, but they call it sinister, come from the basement. Surprise! Always in the basement. Apparently there was a porter who had taken a tenant to the basement area with the intent to show them that there's been objects moving mysteriously on their own down there. The port had been in the room earlier when a heavy metal bar went flying across the room, nearly hitting the porter.
Ooh.
The two men were down in the basement investigating these claims. The porter claimed the bar landed at the porter's feet. He had gone to pick it up to find out that it was way too heavy for him to even lift.
Wow. And that was what flew through the room.
Yep,
So that could have killed him.
yep.
But in most cases, we hear these stories and they're associated with poltergeist activity,
Mhm.
where things are thrown.
Mhm.
They never tend to hurt the victim.
No, very rarely.
They come so close that sometimes they actually even hover before the victim's face,
Mhm.
and then they drop to the ground.
We came across that in the Humpty Doo
Yes.
thing where there was a Bible that would be flung around the place, but it never actually hit anyone, but it would come up into their face.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a way of getting people's attention, I suppose. Was it malevolent? Was it trying to hurt him? Well, it didn't.
Mm.
If it's got the ability to pick up a bar and throw it across a room like that, you wouldn't think they'd miss, or they'd have a second crack at it,
Mhm.
so to speak. Anyway, that is the end of today's presentation. We'd really love it if you could find us on some of our other socials and join us there on our, particularly our Anne and Renata family page. We really want to build our family, and that's where we share most of the stuff about us. Pop that back out, us back in.
And look, we do lots of serious stuff. We do a lot of workshops. We have gathered over the many years that we have been working lots of stories, lots of information. We love to teach, but you'll have to join the Anne and Renata family group to get some information on that. We'd love to take you to the next level. We would love to explain and explore more with you, but it's really for those that want that and are ready sort of to go deeper into some of these subjects. So join the Anne and Renata Facebook page, head over to the Anne and Renata Facebook family page, ask to join that, and then you will be in the inner circle. And then from the inner circle, we will take you into the super inner circle where all of our teachings and our lives and everything are streamed. So, yeah, absolutely.
But now we come to that part of the show where we've got a few minutes left where you can ask your questions if you have any questions of us or about the paranormal in general. What else can we do?
Yeah, so just paranormal questions, guys. We're not going to go into any tarot readings or anything today. This is if you have any paranormal questions or anything about us in particular, pop them on the feed and we will absolutely answer them for you. And someone there is saying that they love our t-shirts. Mine is Graveyard Ghost Gang. And this is a t-shirt that has been created by a local Australian company called Electric Witch, which you can find them online, Electric Witch. And they have a great range of gothic, dark, ghosty, paranormal style t-shirts.
And mine is 50% coffee, 50% books, 100% ghost hunter, and mine came from Tea Public. God, we'd love to have them on as sponsors, wouldn't we?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if there is anyone that would like to sponsor us, send us a message because we are looking for sponsors. Absolutely. And we will sponsor the crap out of you on our show if you sponsor us. So,
any plans to join the delightful Bill Chapel at the Stanley Hotel again? Nothing I would love more. We are planning to go to America later next year, and I am going to catch up with Bill when I get there. Where, I don't know. I think we're actually going over to the East Coast, and the Stanley is sort of like, is it West Coast towards the middle, if I remember correctly. I would so love to take Renata to the Stanley Hotel. It is, we did a podcast on the Stanley Hotel on True Hauntings, and it is one of the most delicious places you could ever go and visit and investigate. All right, so I saw a spirit at a haunted house, famous place. It was more like in my head than through my eyes. Normal. Good question.
well, look, sometimes you actually see these images externally and they're as real as wanting to go and actually touch them and feel them. And sometimes they are projected in your mind's eye. Both are not normal in that that's not your normal visual thing that you would see, but they are normal in the fact that people do have these experiences. So you are seeing something paranormal, which is not necessarily in the normal scheme of things, but it is your mind creating this image, and you take it as real. Yes, this is something that is occurring for me. I'm seeing this in detail. So I'm taking it on board that it is not a figment of my imagination, but it is being projected into my head. So yes, look, in that respect, I would say it's a normal thing for you.
And Robert, I hope you get some good photos because there's supposed to be cloud cover here in New South Wales, so I don't think we're going to get to see it. So I'll look forward to seeing some of your photos on that. Yes, so the Stanley is in Estes Park, Colorado. It's got a fascinating history, and I even visited the pet cemetery that was next door. And of course, Stephen King got his idea for The Shining by staying at the Stanley Hotel and having a ghostly experience. Although apparently the pet cemetery was not what inspired him to write that particular book. There was somewhere else that did that. And when we drove, because we drove to the Stanley Hotel, we flew into LA, and then we went cross country through Beaver. Do you know they've got a liquor store in Beaver? Anyway, there was many jokes that went down in Beaver. It's just getting worse. I'm just going to shut up. And then we went into, I think we even went through the Grand Canyon and up that way into Colorado, into Estes Park. It was great. What's funny is about 10 minutes later, the guide told us about her.
Awesome.
That's great validation. I didn't know
Yes.
anything about her, so I'd quietly tell him, wow, that's brilliant. Yes, lick a beaver while you're there. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Oh no, poker in the front, liquor in the rear.
No.
Oh, we're going to get thrown off. Delightfully inappropriate is what we'd like to say. Look, Australians are well known for being smutty, dirty, and sweary. So, we are what we are. We have to own it. Tell me, Renata, what was one of the earliest jobs that you ever did?
Jobs?
Yeah, like working.
I was a cookery demonstrator.
What sort of stuff did you cook?
Well, I actually worked for the local gas company.
Yeah.
So we were demonstrating how proficient it was to cook with a gas stove. So one of the basic things you cooked is actually scones or scones, because it was about the rising, the way that
the Americans call them biscuits.
A hot oven could make a scone rise. And scones or scones are a very basic pastry that you make with flour, butter, sugar, and sometimes sugar, and water or milk, and you make like a little bun out of it, and you place all of these buns together, and they help each other rise. And then when they're still nice and hot, you put butter and jam and cream. And yes, very English for anyone who doesn't know where that has all come from. And so you would make these because they're very quick and easy to make. You would place them on the platter, you would put them in the hot oven, and then discuss something else or make another recipe. And by that stage, these scones were ready to come out of the oven, and the amazing smell would go through the whole demonstration kitchen. And then everyone would have cups of tea and hot scones with jam and cream.
Oh my God.
That was kind of one of the first jobs that I had.
The first job that I ever had was working, I did a little bit of piano teaching, but it was working at a service station. Yeah, that was a wake-up call, wasn't it? which is why we want to keep doing what we do now. We can't go back to the mundane world. This is now our livelihood.
Yes, this is our real world.
And
So we need support.
Yep.
We need support
We
from
need
you guys.
brothers.
We need support. We need people on our pages. We need people to be active on those pages.
And we need people like Karen and
Yeah.
Andrea and Jody and Jenny Pierce and Lynn Thompson. And I'm just trying to scroll back through
Jody
there.
Music, who was
Sandra
a new best
Ballestros.
friend.
Yeah, all of you guys. Seamus, thank you for being a pooper.
Maxine, we love you guys.
You guys are on here all the time and you support us by watching our shows.
And we
so
love you for
that is a way of supporting us as well. We really do appreciate that. All right, so
Okay, that's it for
no
us.
other questions. We're going to head off because we're getting ready to drive to Sydney and to go to do that ghost tour at the Botanical Gardens next to the Opera House. We'll try to find a photo and pop it up for you guys. And then tomorrow night we're off to Copeland Gold Mine to run a ghost tour. So we might pop some things. If you want to see some live videos and things, head over to the Anne and Renata Frightfully Good family group and you'll be able to see what we're getting up to. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here and we'll see you all next week. Stay on the dark side. Bye.